If you enter the word porn into an internet search engine, you'll get 1.7 billion results. As many as 5 million websites of a sexual nature now exist, and new research has found that children as young as 11 are accessing pornography online, raising questions about the messages young people are getting about sexuality and what is appropriate behaviour. Rebecca Bailey reports, and a warning: this story contains adult themes and images.
I was angrier, I was a lot more emotional, so I had a lot more highs and lows. I did not like myself one bit.
Jason Huxley is a Christian and a family man with a wife and 2 young children. He's also a self-confessed porn addict who, at the height of his habit, was viewing pornography up to 4 hours a day.
It was at that point I kind of went, man, this is taking me over, like I've got to do something about this.
Can you see a duck?
Jason Huxley says that his porn addiction began with a normal teenager's curiosity about sex, but escalated to a point where he went crazy without his daily fix.
Once you head down that pornographic highway, you're almost on a non-stop journey, you know, unless you've got extreme level of self-control. You almost have to do it, have to view the stuff to kind of get the hit that the body's actually expecting.
You're talking about a small minority or a small group of people where excessive viewing does become a problem. It's that group that we need to target on, not everybody who views porn.
Psychologists Raj and Gumati Siddharthan say more and more of their clients have depression, anxiety and relationship problems associated with excessive viewing of pornography. They believe the increase is because the internet allows pornography users to remain anonymous while accessing material more readily.
It's quite easy, like you can be sitting anywhere at any time and you could access porn even via your mobile phone. So the easy access allows people to watch it anytime.
In new research, the husband and wife team surveyed 800 people about their pornography use. While they found that more than 80% of those who looked at porn were male, there were other more startling results.
The starting age to view porn was between 11 to 13 years, which actually surprised us, given the fact that at such an early age people do seem to have some form of access to sort of look at porn material.
I love it and I watched it a lot. I knew very early on through what I saw in porn that I didn't want to stop. I still don't see it's an addiction for me, but I knew I definitely wanted to get more involved in it.
20-year-old university student Kathy and her boyfriend John both started watching porn when they were 12 years old. Now they view it together.
A lot of couples do watch porn together, and it can be a really healthy thing because a lot of couples don't communicate about sex, and it's a really good way to bring up that conversation about what people like, what they don't like.
Being female, it is quite liberating to watch porn and take hold of my own sexuality. A lot of what I now do in my sex life is because of the porn that I have watched.
The Siddharthans say while many young people have a positive experience watching pornography, there are many others suffering detrimental effects.
They skip education. We have found they have social skills deficits where they have difficulty speaking to members of the opposite sex, and they've got all these false assumptions about what is right and proper in a relationship.
I can talk about a case where a young boy, his view of the world after watching excessive porn was that it is a very normal thing to sort of just approach the opposite sex, and within 5 or 10 seconds they'd be sort of doing it. So I think this is the kind of false impressions that we need to correct.
I would worry if pornography was the only source of information that a young person was getting about sexuality. On the other hand, as part of a healthy, balanced diet, I don't think it's destructive.
Professor Alan McKee doesn't believe pornography is addictive in the same way that nicotine or heroin is. He says people watch material that reflects their own sexual identities.
Some people argue that if you start off by looking at mainstream heterosexual pornography, then you'll be drawn on to then looking at sadomasochistic pornography, and then looking at child pornography, and then finally at snuff pornography, where people are murdered. That's the slippery slide theory. There is absolutely no scientific evidence for that.
But the Siddhartans say their work suggests otherwise.
When we sort of ask them about their porn viewing history, it has always started with something very small, but then escalated into something more and deeper disturbing.
Australian Federal Police Commander Glenn McEwen deals with the access, distribution and possession of child exploitation material.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
He says there's been an alarming 30% increase in arrests over the past 2 years.
Peer-to-peer file sharing capability is something that's been utilised quite extensively by the community. And as I've mentioned, there are challenges attached to that, but it continues to be a primary focus of the AFP.
Natalie Walker's life was ruined when she discovered someone close to her had stored child exploitation material on their computer. Now she's set up a website to support women in a similar situation.
I don't think anyone thinks that they will ever be close to someone who will be interested in child abuse. It was very traumatic.
She says that person had started out with adult porn, but as the years passed, the images became more graphic and abusive.
People are becoming desensitised to what they see, and if they're looking at lots and lots of images that abuse people or rape people or abuse children, after a while that seems normal and they're not shocked.
I think porn can be very harmful because there are a lot of oppressed gender roles in porn, and there's a very romanticised version of what sex is, and it shouldn't be the core source of learning about sex.
While pornography is normal and enjoyable for Kathy and John, for Jason Huxley it's been a case of rebuilding his life after pornography nearly destroyed it. He started a support group to help men like him deal with their porn addiction.
If I hadn't have dealt with it, I almost certainly would have ended up separated, if not divorced, from my wife. This stuff's just taking over. It's huge, and there seems to be no stopping it.
That report produced by Monique Shafter. And you can join several of the people in that story in a special 7:30 Twitter forum now. Just go to the hashtag on your screen.